Of February 2022, and we're continuing the topics of the new year. We're going to talk about remodeling projects, popular ones for the new year. Plus, Shane rescues a homeowner who has a water heater leak. We're going to be talking about that. And in our news desk, we're going to be talking some popular real estate recommendations. Location, and you want to buy the worst house on the best street. We're going to talk more about that coming up on our news desk on the Home Pros Radio Show.
The Home Pros Radio Show. Brought to you by Prime Lending. Home loans made simple. Welcome to the Home Pros Radio Show, the premier resource for the well-informed homeowner. With over 30 years of combined home inspection and renovation experience, your hosts, Tommy Donovan and Shane Hips, help you stay on top of your home improvement and home maintenance needs. Visit homeprosradio.com to access the trusted product and service providers that are a part of our Home Pros network. Find the Home Pros Radio Show on Facebook and Twitter for regular show updates and additional information on the topics covered on our show. To join the conversation, call 248-HOME-PROS. And now, your Home Pros, Tommy Donovan and Shane Hips.
Welcome to the Home Pros Radio Show, your source for the advice, tips, and tricks that every homeowner needs to make sure your home is in the best shape possible. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections.
And I'm Shane Hips with Closing Contractor.
And another busy week in the books.
Another one down.
We hear you've had an exciting situation with a water heater.
Yeah. They basically a shark bite connector basically failed.
It's a what? Shark bite?
Shark bite.
Every time I hear that, I think of this.
Shark bait.
At least you didn't play Baby Shark.
There you go. Yeah, I might get run out of the building for that. So that's more appropriate. But shark bite connectors. So you were brought in because
we got a call that there was a leak in the attic. It's one of those situations where the water heater's in the attic. Which is never a good thing typically. Sometimes that's just the only place you have to put it. Mm-hmm. But there's just there's possibilities of problems with that situation. But basically, a shark bite had failed, and so the connection popped loose.
Oh, really?
And so the supply line was just dumping water into the attic. So basically, went down through the ceiling and saturated the house. But
gotcha.
We went in. I got a few pictures of it. just sort of what we were. What we ran into, and just sort of what it is and where it is. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but they had hired somebody to come in to install an expansion tank on the water line.
It all started with an expansion tank.
Yeah.
Adding an expansion tank, so there was a T put in, but then one of the pieces of PEX. They put the T so the expansion tank could come over, but then the piece of PEX that went into an existing shark bite, that shark bite fell. So the shark bite was actually already there, and then the plumber went in and added the expansion tank, so they had to tie a piece of pipe back into it, but the shark bite is what ultimately ended up failing.
Oh, we got some photos of this, actually.
Yeah. So it's one of those situations. It's like, okay, is it an existing thing or is it a new thing?
It's kind of like the chicken or the egg kind of situation.
Yes.
It's like, was that already there? Yeah. Or I guess the homeowner was concerned that the addition of the expansion tank might have caused the situation.
Right. And technically, it goes back to one of the pieces of pipe that was added did go into this existing shark bite, and that's what failed. So it goes back to almost like you touched it. So, and we get into that. We talk about that all the time about how something's at the other end of the house. I'm out there working on an electrical receptacle on this end of the house, and suddenly something on the other end of the house doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's always, well, you're there, and you get into those. But this piece actually touched the existing piece, so it gets a little bit more.
I see what
it's
you
like,
mean.
okay, you sort of have to say, okay, that had something to do with it.
Sometimes I'll get it. I remember when you say that, it reminds me of an issue or a situation a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, anyway, recent.
Sometime.
Yeah, where I had a homeowner. I was there with the homeowners or the home buyers, and the dad shows up, the father-in-law, whoever, and
Someone.
yeah, there's a stain on the ceiling of the living room.
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh, it looks like we got a plumbing leak," and I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I was like, "How do you know it's a plumbing leak?" And he was like, "Well, I mean, there's a bathroom upstairs." And I'm like, "The bathroom's on the other side of the house."
That's a long way from
Yeah.
I mean, not to say water can't run that far,
It
but that is a long way for it to run.
Usually if you've got something like a bathroom leak, it's going to show up right around where the bathroom's located.
Right.
But I can see what you mean. There are times when we might I'm trying to think of some situations that I've actually run into electrical issues, and then I get a call back. What did you do?
Right.
Like I had one homeowner's refrigerator stopped working, and so she was like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I don't check those.
Nothing.
I mean, the only thing I do with the refrigerator is like open it up and shoot my
Shoot your
thermometer
little gun
at it
in
and
it,
make
see.
sure. Yeah, I guess it's cold temperature. That's about, and I have a whole narrative in my report that says that's all I do.
Right.
But for some reason, I can't remember what happened. I don't know if
Maybe a GFI was
feature
tripped.
stopped working. It was some part.
Oh, it
portion
was
of the
specific to a
fridge.
refrigerator.
I don't know if
Nothing
it was
that
the
would be-
refrigerator light stopped working or something
Right,
minor. It wasn't a
right.
big deal, but it was. She was like, "What did you do to my fridge?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
Just because I looked at it doesn't mean I did anything to it.
And it does seem suspicious if someone just was working on something, but
Or
some
at
of
least,
the times
yeah.
it flat out doesn't have anything to do with it, and sometimes it does. And it's
Yeah.
you really have to have someone come out to. A lot of times you have to go out there to figure out. Okay, did this have anything to do with this? Maybe we should get into house forensics.
Yeah,
Just
I
go
like
around
that
and
idea.
say-
It's
I mean,
fun.
It's fun. It's
I
fun
had
to
that-
figure the things out. You don't want this kind of. You don't want to have to deal with these kinds of situations when you do it.
Yeah.
But it
I
is
love that
interesting
kind
to
of
try to
stuff.
figure it out.
Like I had the house I was inspecting today, big 5,000 square foot house with a basement all throughout, and then in the basement bathroom. No, there was a basement bathroom, and then there's a utility room next to it. And then if you looked at the slab was discolored. It was like darkened along one wall.
right.
And I was like, that's odd, because there was no drywall damage, there was no baseboard damage. Everything was elevated just above the floor. So I found it interesting that the slab was discolored. And I got a list from the real estate agent. These are the things we noticed during the walkthrough. Can you take a close look, find out what's going on? And I had no idea. All I could think at the point when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's probably they had, since it was a utility room, they probably had something stored on a shelf that spilled at one time, and it
Right.
just kind of left that stain." Well, it wasn't until a couple hours later when I was back down in the basement running the shower in the adjacent bathroom on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
Now the shower. Okay, so the bathroom's on the other side of the wall. The shower is on the far wall from that wall. But what I noticed was they put in one of these corner shower stalls.
Yeah.
And they rigged up some shower curtain that curved around. But it was so small that when you turn the shower head on,
It shot outside the shower.
it did.
Yeah.
And there was no way to prevent that because the water would hit the curtain and then just drain. And then I watched it all drain right over to that wall. And
Yeah.
I was like, I figured it out.
I've never seen those corner showers that work correctly.
Yeah.
But then again, most things that I see aren't working correctly because that's when we show
That's
up
when-
is when
yes,
there's a
good
problem.
point.
But and that's what I always say about skylights. No one's ever called me into their house to show how good the light
skylight,
is.
how dry it is?
When I go in to look at a skylight, it's because it's leaking. It's not because it's lighting up the room beautifully.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime I've seen one of those, they leak. Even if the door is intact and everything, and they look like a portal that you would sit in and then get dropped down a water slide or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
That's
what you
what a lot
mean.
of
Yeah.
them look like. And even if everything's intact, they still leak.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm about to start a job right now that was an insurance claim over one of those things, but the insurance company will only pay to have something similar put back in. We can't, because in order to make more space in there to be able to put anything else, a different kind of door, we would have to say steal some space out of the closet next door. So we'd have to do different things. And the insurance, we did put that in at first because I don't want to put that same kind of shower back in. But the insurance company wasn't going for it. So I found a different one. It's still a corner like that, but it's got the two sides and the door is actually flat. So it's not all the bent. It's not like a curtain rod that's bent around. Yeah. And I got my fingers crossed that when we get this thing, it's going to be sealed up. It's going to be something that's going to be sealed up good. But yeah, I've encountered those little the things you're talking about a few times in my life. And it's always because either the water behind the shower fixture, behind the enclosure, either that some of that's rotted out or the water's been shooting out on the floor. But I've always seen problems with it.
Well, the problem we see here that we have pictured behind us on the big screen. Yep. And folks, if you're listening to the podcast and want to get a visual representation of what we're talking about, check out our Facebook page, our live feed YouTube page, where we have the video on the big screen behind us. We've got, sometimes I'll get homeowners who are like, "Oh, the water heater's in the attic." Mm-hmm. Especially when we have folks who move from other parts of the country where they're used to basements. And, there are some homes, like you were mentioning earlier, sometimes the attic's the only place. Yeah. If you have a slab home, for example, or something like that.
If you have a slab and you don't have a garage.
Yes.
Where else you go? Unless you have some kind of mechanical room somehow.
Townhomes, places like that. Yeah. So I always try to look at the bright side. You're going to have good water pressure. That sort of thing. But,
I guess that's one way.
And I always say there's a drip pan installed, so I don't test the drip pan or the drain line. I will give you that disclaimer, but that should all pick it up. But in this particular case,
I don't care what kind of drip pan you have,
because we're talking about a supply line that went
a supply line that busted loose. Yeah. And honestly, when I first got this call, I thought just because we've had the cold weather for the last week or so, I thought what had happened was a pipe in the attic had frozen and burst, and then we just so happened to see it a couple of days ago because that was the first warm day where it warmed up and stayed pretty warm.
That's usually when,
that's when you always see it.
I wanted to talk about that too today.
We'll talk about it right now.
Hot water and water pipes that are more likely to freeze than others.
We'll
have to talk about that.
How the hot water lines always freeze first.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
Did I ever tell you about the time I told a physicist that?
No. I think. Well, you might have.
I felt like an idiot once I said it, but yeah, we'll cover that next.
All right, awesome.
We'll cover it because that was funny. I mean, it's one of those where you say something and then all of a sudden someone says something back and your jaw just drops because you don't know how to respond. Now it's like, okay, I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you about that one.
Good. But stay tuned for next week's show.
Hey, we gave you a cliffhanger. Didn't mean to.
There you go. So this is what you kind of walked into the situation on the left. Then the drywall was torn down.
Yeah, that was
ceiling.
And that wasn't torn down by a person. That was enough water to knock the
ceiling. It actually
ceiling.
brought it down.
Yes.
Oh.
Because that supply line was just dumping in that. That's why I'm saying no matter what kind of drip pan you had. Yes. So all this just kept on. Plenty of water. And but all over a shark bite fitting in the
Let's
attic,
take a look at the fittings. So we have,
and this
now
is,
I was going to say one of the things that I did notice, we're talking about insulating your lines or freezing pipes. But I guess the lines are insulated. They're in the wall insulation there, so they are protected.
Right.
But so I can see though in the picture on the right where I guess it's kind of a before and after that we have.
Yeah,
here.
the one on the left is that's the shark bite that actually fell. The one.
Okay. Right I see it dripping.
Yeah. So that's the one that actually fell from the get go. It was but because like you see in the picture there on the right, that there's an expansion tank added, so the T had to be there, and then that little short piece of PEX right there got put back into that shark bite. That shark bite was existing, but it fell after this. So, it's just one of those things, always just look at, if you're tying back into something, make sure to at least check that area, that particular one. Yeah. it's one of those.
Now you were mentioning
unfortunate
before
things.
that there would probably be a couple things that you would change about this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't love the idea of the flex going to the
water heater.
Yeah, I don't love that idea. I mean, there's fitting, different ways you can tie it in with the solid pipe without running that flex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the flex is easier if you ever have to move
I know
the water
some
heater
jurisdictions
over.
it's required.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like, well, in earthquake zones.
Yeah. I'm sure in places, where it would bust loose, but it's not required to run a water heater with flex here.
Okay.
So there's ways you could have eliminated some of these parts and pieces.
I noticed that there are 2 shutoffs, which is something you don't normally see.
You don't really usually see that. Usually, just the cold water is
Because once you
controlled.
shut off the cold,
It's
you're
not
going to drain your water heater.
But I guess there's some reason. I mean, I'm trying to think what situation you would have where you would want to ever shut off
both,
but I'm not sure about that. But but usually I just see the cold line with the shut off on it. But ultimately all this came from adding that expansion tank. Some of it
it
was
just worked that
reworked.
shark bite fitting loose.
Yeah. And you wouldn't necessarily know that it's going to fail. You wouldn't necessarily know, and that's the thing. Anytime
That's
you're
the
going
thing
back
about
into
plumbing. Things like that'll sneak up on you.
Uh-huh.
And you don't know it. Yeah, you don't see it coming.
and you don't know about it till much later.
Yeah.
And and a lot of damage has already been done. But yeah,
You know what I think? Here's the deal, though. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. As soon as that leak started, that could have been stopped by shutting off that supply.
yes,
That shut off.
Yeah, but
But if the homeowner
I really
knew to
doubt
do
it was
that.
ever known that it was about to happen.
Yeah.
Because when these things fail, they fail. I mean,
Yeah. they could have been at work when this happened, or something. I mean, it's
Right.
just-
Yeah.
People, there are all kinds of stories of people coming home from vacation to a puddle.
Oh
or
yeah,
more than
yeah.
a puddle,
I've been in
pond.
several of those too.
Yeah.
Toilet upstairs leaking, and the whole. It was a couple of Christmases ago. A lady called me, and she got home. She had been out of town for Christmas. Came back Christmas Day, and water was pouring out of her garage when she pulled up in her driveway. Water was pouring out of the garage. So her upstairs toilet had been running all that time. It was a mess, but
That
yeah,
is
I felt
horrible.
so bad for her.
Yeah.
And you just got home from. She's probably worn out, been out of town for
Oh,
Christmas.
I just want to go home and
and
relax.
I just want to go home,
Oh,
go to bed. Now you can't even get through your house because there's water everywhere.
Horrible.
But yeah,
That's very unsettling. I tell you what, maybe we can do. What we can do is get our resident plumber in on the show to talk about this and
sounds like a plan.
some other things. Carl Turvo with KT Plumbing, and we can talk about that with him next week. First, though, we
didn't do that one.
You know what we forgot? We forgot this.
Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
Are we actually coming through the mixer here on our sound?
I don't think so.
Well, let's just try this. You know what? Maybe we need to start over.
Do it. Let's
All right,
hear it.
ready?
Yep.
Let's try it again. This is our Closing Contractor Mystery Sound for this week, which actually no one got last week. So we're gonna. What do we have in the hopper here? It's our.
The Closing Contractor
It's through there.
Mystery Sound.
Please listen carefully.
Can you hear this? Can you hear me now? It'll
Yep.
drive you nuts if you know it. And if you've heard this, you probably know exactly what it is. So give us a call and let us know what it is.
Yeah, give us a call at 248-466-3776.
Want to hear from you on our Home Pros Radio Show comment line. Give us a call. And until then, we're going to take a break real quick on the Home Pros Radio Show. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about remodeling projects for 2022 after this break on the Home Pros Radio Show. If you're a home service provider who takes pride in your work and strives to be recognized as a trustworthy professional in your industry, the Home Pros Radio Show wants to hear from you.
Become a Home Pros Radio Show partner. Send us an email at ask@homeprosradio.com.
Your Home Pros Radio Show Expo listing and your featured appearances on our podcast are just the beginning when it comes to the ways that we can help brand your business on the Home Pros Radio Show.
It's a great opportunity. It's just an email away. Ask@homeprosradio.com.
One of the Home Pros Radio Show partners that makes this show possible is Carolina Heating Service. We'd like to invite you to give them a call. They are a near you company. And you know, when your heating and air system breaks down, it usually happens right when you need it, does it not?
Oh, yeah. It's always the worst times.
And that's why Carolina Heating Service came up with the Carolina Comfort Club, where there are two ways to be a member. You have the Comfort Plan and the Comfort Plus Plan. Whichever plan you have, they'll come out to your house at least a couple times a year and make sure everything's running right. You know, at the start of the heating season, at the start of the cooling season, to make sure that you're not hit with any of those inconvenient situations that could pop up with your heating and air system. So give them a call. Here's the number. It's 800-261-0359. You can also find them online at carolinaheating.com. It's Carolina Heating Service. They're a near you company. Thank you for watching the Home Pros Radio Show. And, of course, our show is brought to you from the studios of Prime Lending. It's our Prime Lending studio, right?
They're the big title sponsor.
Yeah, and all of this talk about building and maintaining your home doesn't mean much if you don't have the funding to make it happen. And that's why we like to invite you to call Prime Lending. They got offices all around the country for you. But if you're right here in the South Carolina area, give Mark Hawkins a call. Here's his number. It's 864-349-0160. You know, when it comes to getting the funding you need, Prime Lending makes the process easy and personal. Websites and 800 numbers, man, they can lend you money, but are they going to sit down with you face-to-face and actually give you the products that you need? Because there's so many options.
There's something to be said to be face-to-face with someone instead of just talking to them over the phone or emails or whatever. Yeah, something to be said for that.
Absolutely. So give Prime Lending a call if you're remodeling your home, you're purchasing your dream home, or just need a cash-out refinance. That's another option that they can help you out with and sit down with you face-to-face. 864-349-0160. If you're in upstate South Carolina or South Carolina area, period, give Mark Hawkins a call. And wherever you are in the country, there's a Prime Lending office near you. Of course, with Prime Lending, buying and refinancing your home is simple, fast,
and hassle-free.
That's it. And welcome back to the Home Pros Radio Show. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections, and I find stuff.
And I'm Shane Hips with Closing Contractor, and I fix stuff.
I slurred there a little bit.
I know, I
should
noticed.
Probably stop drinking before the show. We're broadcasting from the Prime Lending studio, and nice digs that they hooked us up with. We appreciate it very much, Prime Lending. And Mark Hawkins, I hope they're staying pretty busy right now.
I would assume they are. As long as people can find a house to buy, I'm sure they staying busy.
Especially in this market, we're learning Greenville, where we're located, is becoming more and more and more popular.
And more expensive.
Yeah, it is.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about some expensive homes coming up in the next block when we talk about, we visit the Home Pros Radio Show news desk, and we got a special house that we're going to be talking about from all of our friends out there in San Francisco, so stick around for that. But first, if you're not moving, sometimes you just want to remodel.
Absolutely.
And
if you can't find a house.
Yeah, if you can't find a house.
Pretty common right now.
Yeah, and we're kind of changing the way we live in homes these days. And so as a result, we're doing some interesting remodeling projects that are a sign of the times. So I have a list here. This is from this is a list that was brought to us by ProRemodeler.com.
Okay.
Remodeling projects for 2022. What are most homeowners doing to their homes? And what do we have for the first better outfitted mudrooms. Mudrooms are something that are becoming more and more popular in floor plans. I see them a lot more.
Agree. Even if it's not a room, at least a good space. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just inside the door, a space set aside completely different to give you storage and to drop all your stuff off.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, and one of the recommendations they have here is if you want to add that to your home, consider taking advantage of some space that's maybe underutilized near a garage, a laundry room, some sort of entryway. Sometimes homes do have those awkward entrances where it's like, what do we do with this space? Well, one of the things you could do is turn it into a mudroom, make it functional. Sure. Maybe even run some electrical to it where you could plug in all your devices when you come in from the house, from being out. Mm-hmm. Install some good flooring that's going to be durable. Some luxury vinyl.
Something that you can still have mud on your feet.
It's funny how luxury vinyl is known as durable and serviceable.
Isn't it fancy?
But it's
Luxury.
It sounds fancy. Luxury. Hey, don't touch that. It's luxury.
Is it durable or is it luxury? Which one is it?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Gotta clean it with a kitten. Stop it. Additional functions in high demand, additional functions that are in high demand are drop-off areas for packages, grocery store deliveries.
Uh-huh.
That would be nice to have. Now, you can get rid of the porch pirates. There'd be some way for folks to drop off your Amazon packages.
Yeah.
I'm forever picking up packages on people's front porch and putting them inside before I close up the house.
Oh, yeah.
I see it more and more.
Yeah. You talk about that, because, when I renovated my house, I actually have a header in the wall to where I didn't ever cut it in because it would have messed up the firewall. But
to the garage? Wait.
Yeah, I put a header.
Yeah, you have like a mystery closet thing. I remember that.
It's there. It's framed in the wall, but it never was cut. So my firewall does exist. I didn't get rid of that. I didn't break a code by doing that. But yeah, I have an opening from my garage to where technically I can pull in my garage, take the groceries out, and if I cut it out and put the door, and it would be in the back of one of my pantries. Mm-hmm. So I could literally never have to go through the house. But
it would be a breach of the firewall.
Then the firewall. So I didn't ever do it. But yeah, I thought about that when you said it. But now it wouldn't make sense because now I get my groceries delivered.
Do you really?
It's so easy to get everything delivered now. Yeah,
you're so lazy.
I know. Walmart.com pretty much.
I bet you got a robot that cleans your floors too.
You
right?
got it.
Yeah, we got a story on that coming up too. Later.
Her name's Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like, Alice got stuck in Charlie's room again.
From the Jetsons.
No,
that's from
Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch, yeah.
Yep. Alice goes around.
What's
at
the
10 o'clock
Jetsons
every
one?
morning.
What's the Jetsons robot?
Ruby?
Is
it Ruby?
Oh, I have to look it up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to say Ruby, but that's a guess. But yeah.
Oh, I have it like, all right, we'll figure it out.
But Alice works every morning at 10 o'clock sharp. She starts cleaning the floor.
Really?
Yep.
Are you ever at home? Sometimes I'm in. It's funny how sometimes I'll be in inspections and people's stuff starts working, and I'm like, "What? Who's in the house?"
You hear some.
It can be creepy. Some other popular things: pet washing stations with an oversized sink, shower pan, and storage. No, you're getting ahead. I'm
am I?
I'm
sorry.
doing mudroom recommendations.
Oh, we're still in the mud. I thought
Yeah.
we were going on to something. My bad.
Yeah.
I got you. So like a pet station in the mudroom.
Yes.
Okay.
Rosie is the Jetsons.
Rosie.
Yes.
What did I say? I said Ruby.
Ruby, you're close.
Oh,
You're closer than I
very,
was.
very close.
So other things you could do in your mudroom, pet washing stations. You can go with a waterproof, easy to clean. We talked about the vinyl floor, recessed LED lights. You can do that anywhere. Additional functions that are in high demand. Oh, I'm sorry. I am backing up a little bit. Specified storage for each family member. We always see those.
With where you put the shoes at the bottom, then the raincoat right here, and the book bag right here. Yeah.
Laundry equipment area complemented with shelves, a counter for folding, and a sink. And these are all things I've always wanted to put in my house, but life took over.
Yes.
And now I'm at the point where my kids are almost gone, and I'm like,
no,
it's time to put in all these cubby holes. Wait a minute, the kids are gone. What's the point?
Yeah. I wanted to put one in my laundry room. In my laundry room, I'd planned on a nice cabinet, and there's a shelf there with, I don't even know what's on laundry detergent and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a shelf.
Yeah.
It's way more boring than what I'd planned. But,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now it's time to go to the next bullet point. What do we have? More specialized outdoor rooms. Outdoor spaces.
Outdoor
That's a
rooms
common theme.
with a quote.
Yeah, rooms with a quote, meaning.
So you're talking about like
It's like
outdoor kitchens?
Yeah, kind of like that. Let's see what we have on our notes here. Outdoor kitchens. First bullet point under here.
There you go.
Grill, water source. The newest bell and whistle pizza oven is what they're suggesting.
Look out now.
Wow, we're gonna really. Next thing you know, they're gonna be putting air fryers out there.
It's huge, yeah. And it's gonna fry with natural air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just gonna
it's
pull
a
it
fresh
in.
air fryer.
It's gonna pull it in and warm it up, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make one today.
Oh man,
They're also known as turbines. But okay,
fire pit, obviously.
Yeah.
Fire pit or fireplace out in those areas. A lawn or terrace to set out a large screen and chairs to watch movies.
yeah,
I got a gift. One of the gifts that I got from my kids is an outdoor projector screen.
awesome.
So we could set it up at the lake house.
Yep.
We can sit there and watch a movie.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Of course, I'm sitting there going, all right, where am I going to hang the projector? And I got to run the wiring for that, HDMI cords.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll figure it out.
Well, you got to figure it out now because you got a screen.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the hardest part. Vegetable gardens. Those are popular for outdoor spaces.
Okay.
Popular, yeah.
And herb gardens, if you don't have as much space, just grow some herbs.
Yep. Raised rectangular wood planters. Well, that would be part of the vegetable gardens. Aluminum troughs, big frost-hardy containers. Protect your plants from freezing.
Okay.
Heaters are recommended to make life comfortable during colder weather. So that's another thing you want to consider when you're actually doing your outdoor spaces, your living spaces. If you're going to hang out there, you want warmth.
Yes.
What else we have? Another popular.
You know what?
What?
I might as well go ahead and throw them in there. Screen Mobile.
Oh, yes.
You start talking about warm spaces outside because they have that
the door.
easy breeze system. Well, they have the door, and they also have that you can do the screen porches. I want to say it's easy breeze system, but they have that. That's because it makes it a three. I think they call it a 3 seasons room.
Yeah.
Because
it's not
technically, what
heated
you
and
can do
cooled,
is have all the plastic things in to where you don't have any open screen, and throw a heater in there, and it'd warm up and get cozy again.
It would. Absolutely.
So.
All right, next,
my
more
bad.
windows, doors, and wall glazing to savor nature. That's
door.
one of the things. People are adding windows, making windows bigger, trying to add windows.
What's it talking about? Wall glaze?
Wall glazing?
I'm not sure. That was one thing I wasn't sure of.
Wall glazing to savor nature. Be ready to change out windows and doors and sometimes an entire wall to fit larger glass options.
Okay.
I guess what they're talking about are like, I see in higher end homes these days the sliding glass doors that might be in like 3 sections, and you push them back, and the next thing you know, it's all wide open.
Yeah.
I think that process is called wall glazing,
okay.
where you're taking what was a solid wall, and now it's see-through.
Gotcha.
Bringing the outside in.
Yep.
So, those things are, especially if you got a view, so amazing.
Oh, it's nice. Where you basically making the inside like outside.
Correct.
You're bringing the outside
in and vice versa. And then another option you have is what my wife's favorite is if you have those really cool looking sleek garage doors. So instead of sliding to the side, you have nothing but glass.
Oh,
and
yes.
You lift the garage door up. You see that a lot in
venues like for weddings and stuff like that.
Restaurants and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually especially you mentioned a venue. There's a venue that I've had my eyes on that I would like to book for like some stand-up shows and stuff that does that. They have an indoor performance area, then these doors that go up that open right out onto a patio that would just be awesome. So
is it in Greenville?
Yeah. So yeah, but having something like that, especially coming out of your basement, something like that would be awesome.
Yep.
Super cool. Bring the outdoors in, and like I said, vice versa. What else we have? Built-in keyboard, ergonomic. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh, I
for the
thought you
office.
wanted to go to the next
kitchens,
slide.
high windows. Oh, here in kitchens.
Okay.
I'm seeing different lighting effects, or at least different window applications. Instead of doing your cabinets all the way to the top, maybe you do high windows.
Yes.
And bringing windows all the way down to the floor. So, sometimes I see. I've seen it a couple times where they actually put windows in for the backsplash.
Okay.
Which would be kind of cool. So could be problematic, I guess, for cleaning and stuff, but it brings that outdoor light in. Mm-hmm. So, and then the other thing that you see with newer windows is just getting rid of not as much framework, more glass, less trim, if you will. Now we're ready to go to the next one, which is, home offices, which is what we hear over and over, especially after the whole COVID thing.
Yes.
Everyone wants to improve and beef up their home offices. Searches, and these are all based off of searches on Houzz, Houzz, the Emerging Home Design Trends Report. They follow internet searches to figure out like what's popular. That's where some of this data is coming from. They say searches for home offices are up 108% in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. So what to consider when designing if you're going to put a home office in your house? Consider, do you need a door? Are you going to need some privacy, or are you going to leave it open? In my house, I need a door.
Right. Right.
Too much noise.
And sometimes you may have a space for one office, but you got 5 kids in there. I mean, you got to put partitions or whatever. I mean, you got to think about who all's going to be in that office and how many people and how loud are these people and what do these people do? You know?
What are they going to be doing?
Yeah.
How much natural light do you need? Are you willing to share the space, like you were saying? We're going to have a station for myself, and then what? You know, the kids are going to be in here doing homework, whatever. Do you have an entire? Do you have an extra room to use where you can take or maybe a big walk-in closet that you can convert into an office?
Right.
As far as the spaces, a large landing or attic or basement. You know, there are all kinds of. The house I was in today was one of those where I'm like, they had a full basement, but then there are also other rooms in the house where I was like, what am I going to call this room?
I love it when I don't know what to call a room.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do y'all call it?
Yeah, that's usually what I'll do is I'll say to the buyer, what do you call in this room? That way, when I refer to it in the report, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I love it when I get the home inspection, it says Jason's room. How am I supposed to know which one's Jason's room?
Oh, my God, that's funny.
I've only gotten that a couple of times, but yes, I have gotten it before where it has a specific person's name's room. I'm like, okay, and I'm supposed to somehow know whose room this is?
You got an open ground in Jason's room and you need to go fix. Who's Jason? That's funny. What else? What else can you do for your home offices? Built-in keyboards, ergonomic chair, guest chair, file cabinet, lighting, outlets. 2 new trends to be aware of.
I'm ready.
Wall-mounted screens.
I agree.
Yeah, I love that idea. Have a keyboard on your desk, but the screen's up on the wall.
Yeah,
or
look,
something
we're
like
ahead
that.
of the game.
Well, yeah, here we go.
Look at this wall-mounted screen.
Yeah. And standing desks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want a standing desk.
I've got a business partner who's got one. So
I know there are those that you can raise and lower. I would need that.
This one can be raised and
there are
lowered.
times I want to sit down.
Yeah.
So
who knows?
But it depends on what you're doing. I get. Oh, it depends.
Not depends.
You got me. Well, it's like I guess if you're in sales, things like that, or if you're on the phone a lot, standing desks would be good. Standing workspaces,
right?
Because you know what they say, you sound more. What's the word? More affirmative. You're more type A. If you're standing up.
Maybe we should start doing a show standing up.
No.
You think we'll sound? No, that'd be
too tired.
Why would we do that?
No. Yeah. And finally, accessory dwelling units. Well, what does that mean?
Let me think this one through. Accessory dwelling units.
Kind of sounds like a new PC term.
I have accessory dwelling unit. It's like accessory dwelling.
I don't need you to infringe upon my accessory dwelling unit.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I give up.
You've got me triggered.
Okay, what's an accessory?
Accessory, like extra living spaces. That's basically what that means. Extra living spaces. Meaning,
so they're making their house larger, adding additions.
So, like maybe doing a mother-in-law suite, or maybe like the house I was in today. They at some point the house was built in 2015, and then in 2018 they did a whole kitchen, living space, and bedroom and bath down there
under existing
in
roof,
the basement.
Under existing roof that's already there.
These are remodeling projects, or you could do like a separate building.
I got
you. And then the idea is for people like grown children who are coming back, or renters if you want to make some money on the side, or older parents that are moving back into the house. Detached from the main house. They could range between 500 to 1,200 square feet. These are popular searches that people are looking for. What to consider? Of course, the size, setbacks on your property, making sure that you're not infringing upon any type of easements.
Yes.
Other code requirements as well. Of course, just like elsewhere, natural light, insulation, key appliances. How are you going to be using that space? Do you need a kitchen or just a bathroom or something like that?
Yeah.
Accessibility.
And all those things do come into play a lot more than what most people realize.
Yeah.
Like the insulation. For instance, of course, I didn't know what an accessory dwelling unit is, but I priced one a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But I just didn't call it an accessory dwelling unit.
Would you like a quote on your accessory dwelling units?
If I'd have known this word a couple of days ago, I could have used it.
Yeah.
No, but basically they want to convert their garage into because there's some elderly parents that want to live with them. So so in the garage they're wanting to make it have a kitchenette, a bathroom, and a bedroom.
Okay.
You know, an accessory dwelling unit.
Yeah.
And so, but one thing that a lot of people wouldn't think about. Okay, this is a garage, so your exterior walls and your ceiling aren't going to have insulation in them. So you got to take all the stuff, take the drywall or whatever. It's easier for me to do that since I'm renovating the whole area. If I wasn't doing anything else, you could possibly cut the holes and blow the insulation in it. We're gonna take it's only one wall. We're gonna take the drywall off and put insulation in it and then add insulation above it. But those things, because a lot of them seem like they're like it'd be common sense, or it would be.
But people don't think about that. It's just like when we were talking about mudrooms earlier. It's like, hey, you got this space in your garage you don't use. Well, turn it into a mudroom or maybe an office or something like that. But when you're doing that, and you're closing in what was previously a garage, or you're considering the fact that you're going to need to insulate those walls and really make it an interior space.
Or you have to level the floors. Because most garages slope from the back of it down to the front of it so it doesn't hold water in case water gets in the garage. So you get into stuff like that, or you're going to have to, level out the floors. I'm wrapping this project up right now, but a gentleman had a 4-car garage, and he wanted to take 2 of the bays and make a wood shop. And he had all these nice saws, all this nice equipment. All of it had rollers on them and all. But the garage sloped from back to front, and he didn't want that because he was afraid of having to level his saws and all this stuff.
Oh, God, that would be a headache on your table saw and all that.
So we actually went in and busted out half of this garage, the whole floor, and re-poured it so we could get it.
I was wondering how you're going to fix that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, because you can't.
It's too much of a slope
concrete.
to just do leveler or anything like that.
Right, yeah, and you put level on that, that's going to end up cracking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there is probably some kind of way to do it, but I went around and round with my concrete people that I work with and all, and no one was willing to guarantee.
You can't just pour another.
Yeah.
You could. Yeah,
if you pour it and once it goes
do a
to
new
nothing,
pour on top of
you got concrete that thick, it's going to crack, and you got all this heavy equipment that you're rolling around on it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't going to work. Gotcha. So we ended up having to. I mean, but things like that you really wouldn't think about so much, but we ended up busting every bit of it up and re-pouring
it.
That side of the garage is flat now. The other side of the garage has the slope because it has cars.
Yeah, and it's a slope that normally you wouldn't even notice, but when you get into something like this, what he's doing, it's needed. Yeah. Well, we need to take a break right now. It's about that time. We're going to actually take a break for these messages. When we come back, we're going to visit the Home Pros Radio Show news desk. We're going to talk about some real estate updates to share, some interesting homes, and more when we come back on the Home Pros Radio Show. Thanks for watching the Home Pros Radio Show. You know, Shane and I would love to know what you think of the show, so we'd like to invite you to leave us a review.
At the Home Pros Radio Show, it's our goal to keep homeowners entertained, inspired, and informed. So let us know how we're doing.
Your review helps us ensure that we're including the content you want to hear and that we're reaching out to more homeowners just like you.
So click on that review button and tell us what you think.
Your relationship with your home is an emotional one. Your home provides a sense of pride for you and your family. Through ongoing training, past experience, and current technology, RIC Home Inspections can provide you with the most reliable and accurate information available so you can enjoy the rewards of your home ownership. Call RIC Home Inspections at 235-5505 or visit us online at richomeinspections.com. That's 235-5505. RIC Home Inspections. Love where you live.
Every week, the Home Pros Radio Show news desk is brought to you by Pro Carpet Repairs. Pro Carpet Repairs offers a wide variety of cleaning service, carpet care services, all kinds of things for your flooring in your house. So if you're a landlord, if you're looking to sell your home, or you're just simply a homeowner who needs to revamp the look and feel of your carpeting, Pro Carpet Repairs, Adam and Samantha Prohl, the owners, can provide the service that you need, whether it's damaged carpeting that needs
I
to
always like to concentrate on the repairs.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the name.
carpet protection, carpet stretching.
Yeah.
No
They do all
need
kind
to,
of stuff.
Yeah, no need to rip everything out and replace it. Just give Adam and Samantha Prohl a call, and they'll come out and revamp it. Here's a number, 864-569-9366. You can also find them online at procarpetrepairs.com. The Home Pros Radio Show is brought to you in part by Screen Mobile of the Piedmont. Established in 1982, Screen Mobile National has been around that long, and they're the nation's largest screen installation and repair company. They offer many different options for windows, screens, whether it's a corporate location or even a home residential location. They can bring their mobile units out to you and repair your screens, replace them, or even create a whole outdoor environment that you can use to keep the bugs out with their screens.
I've always been impressed with the tent one, the one
Yeah.
that keeps your siding from melting, or your neighbor's siding from melting.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's saying tint with an I to help cool things down. Yeah, for those of you who are not in the
Not from South Carolina.
Exactly. And that'll protect, some of your outdoor building products, like your siding from melting. That's a good point. I never
It's
even
not
thought
always a
about that.
grill. It can't be a window.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So give Screen Mobile a call. There's a Screen Mobile in your area. You can visit them online at screenmobile.com. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina, call Screen Mobile of the Piedmont, 864-641-7476. And welcome back to the Home Pros Radio Show. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections.
And I'm Shane Hips with Closing Contractor.
And this is the Home Pros Radio Show. Home improvement like you've never heard before, but I bet you've heard this before. It's this.
The Closing Contractor Mystery Sound.
Please listen carefully.
If you know what that is, let us know. Here's the phone number.
It's 248-466-3776.
That's the Home Pros Radio Show comment line. Let's hear from you. And you know what? If you get it right, we'll send you one of these. It's a Home Pros Radio Show coffee mug that Shane has been drinking out of. Mine's empty right now.
You can
I
pretend.
wish I had some coffee in it. I could use some right now. As we hit this last segment of the show, we're going to visit the Home Pros Radio Show news desk. All right, so we were talking about Rosie. You have Alice.
I have Alice,
Your
yes.
vacuum.
Yep.
It sucks up a Cheerio and is full?
No, mine.
I always wonder, how much do these things really vacuum?
Well, mine goes back to a tower,
Yeah.
and the tower holds, let's say that much, about like more than a half a gallon.
So for those of you listening to the podcast, did you hear that?
Yeah,
It holds that much.
Holds this much, that much stuff. But yeah, it holds a decent amount. I mean, I have to empty mine out once every couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the tower. Yeah. Charlie came in the other day and said, because Charlie loves putting puzzles together, so she got some puzzles.
This
for
is
Christmas.
Shane's daughter, by the way.
Yes. So she came in. She said, I put all my puzzles together, but I'm missing 5 pieces off of one of them. I looked at her. I said, why? She said, Alice came in my room and ran over it.
That's funny.
So I went through the bin because I had it empty the tower where Alice goes back to park to get all the trash out of her. So I actually went through it and I found the pieces.
Aw.
Yep. She's probably there. I think she's still missing 1 or 2, but at least it's more complete than what it was. You know?
Maybe what happens is Alice gets a little jealous whenever Charlie comes and visits.
Yeah.
Little girl, I can't stand her.
I'm gonna go take part of her
I'm
puzzle.
gonna suck up her puzzle pieces.
Alice does like getting stuck in Charlie's room.
Well, we have a story of a robot vacuum that might be a little bitter. Yeah, this one escaped.
Oh, it got out. Nice.
Yeah, the robot vacuum cleaner has been returned to a travel lodge after it made a clean break from freedom through a hotel's front door.
Oh boy.
The self-driving cleaner was reported missing from the hotel. This is in Orchard Park, Cambridge. This is overseas, across the pond.
Okay.
The hotel's assistant manager wrote in his social media post Today we had one of our new robot vacuums run for its life. And he said that he offered a 6-pack, I think he said, if anyone wants to return it, if anybody sees it. So,
if you happen to see a robot going down the road, we're missing it.
Yep. But social media responses, of course, were plenty. So folks were commenting. Let's see, actually, I don't think these are all that funny. They're going to clean up if we don't watch out. Oh, no. Hopefully that vac does a better... one of the comments got political. Hopefully that vac does a better job at cleaning up the city than the council and police does. Okay. Anyway, the hotel's assistant manager posted on Reddit, their little buddy, promised a free drink. He added that as the robot is not compatible with any other charger, you're going to be screwed. So you better
it's not going to do you any good. You might as well bring it back to us. Yeah.
So the robot was basically found the next day under a hedge.
Under a hedge?
Yeah.
Nice.
I wonder if it ran out of
power.
Or either ran out. It must have just run out of power.
Yeah, the battery's going to die eventually.
Because don't they normally? Aren't they assigned like a?
Yeah, but they have to go and create that.
They have to create the boundary.
They create their boundary. They go around. Well, there's different levels of, they keep getting more and more advanced. Mm-hmm. Like I was told today, literally today, that they've figured out how to make them not run over dog poop and drag dog poop all over the house.
That would suck.
Yes. That's one of the big problems with, like, if you have.
What do they have, a sense of smell now or something?
I don't know how. I don't know if it touches something and it gives just a little. I don't know. But I was told this today because I was at a house where I was looking at a renovation at somebody's house and there was a robot rolling around. I mean, going around and because I told the lady that Alice, my robot Alice always gets stuck here, and she said. And then later on, I heard her refer to her robot as Robert. But it's like both of us are talking about these robots
losing their
like
minds, people.
We're talking about these robots like they're people. It's like,
oh my gosh!
She said, "Well, Robert always gets stuck right there." So, but she's the one that told me that they actually do have the. They've somehow got some kind of technology where it doesn't run over dog poop.
I wonder what that is. That's interesting.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up and see exactly what they did.
Share that for next week's show.
That and what? Oh. Yeah, me making a fool out of myself to a physicist.
Oh yeah, the physicist. We gotta cover that too. So robot is. I don't know if this one had a name, but it made it back home safe.
Oh, it had a name.
Yeah.
Oh, we were explaining. Oh, so they draw their map pretty much, but if somehow this entrance to this area
had a lip or something that's what they were saying, that it went, for some reason it went over its boundary.
Right.
Because normally there's a lip there that it recognizes.
Right. Yeah, because usually if my sliding glass door's open or something, it'll go and it'll get sort of stuck right there, then it'll back out. Okay. But it somehow the ramp was just right or something where it didn't sense that wall or that there wasn't a threshold there.
That would have been funny though, to be standing there watching that thing. It's going away. Be free.
Yeah, you're coming in with the luggage rack pushing and you're holding the door open for the robot who's leaving. Yeah,
that's right. All right, back here in the United States, we have this story out of San Francisco. They always say in real estate, what are the three most important things when choosing a house?
The location.
Exactly. Now, another thing that they say as a rule of thumb is you want to buy the worst house on the best block. Well, the worst house on the best block of this San Francisco neighborhood came up on the market. Check that house out. Mm-hmm. Looks like it's due for an overhaul.
Yep.
Let's see. It's described as just as that. It's sold for how much? $1.97 million. It's a 19. It's around 1900 when it was built. They say it's 122-year-old, so that put that right at the turn of this last century, this century previous. It's a Victorian home located in Noe Valley. So I'd like to go out and visit that neighborhood. I remember when I went out to San Francisco, there was a home inspectors conference we went out there for, And one of the things they did on one of the afternoons, they took us out on a tour of all the historic homes.
Right.
So super cool. Got to see all the painted ladies, and everything. Boy, was that amazing. There's some beautiful houses out there. But this one has some work to do, but it can get there. We got some photos here that we shared of the interiors. Actually, these photos totally remind me of the first house I lived in when I bought it. Mm-hmm. I bought a house. It was an arts and crafts bungalow. It was 1914, 1915 when it was built. The kitchen looked a lot like that kitchen you see in that photo.
Yeah.
It had a stove that was a wood stove that was ventilated through a chimney, that sort of thing. That's just how they did it back then.
Right.
It's crazy. So, one of the things that's funny about this listing, it's a 2,100 square foot home, boarded up windows, peeling paint, unstable foundation, and it was listed with 0 bedrooms and 1 bath. I thought that was funny.
Because it has no closets.
Correct. There you go. Wow. That's impressive, Shane. You get a... that's the wrong button.
0 bedrooms and 1. That makes
But yeah,
sense.
somebody actually, I was reading through the comments, and somebody was like, 0 bedrooms? What does that mean? Somebody explained it. But
Yep.
yeah, that's coming from a realtor. Realtor said the price was a result of overbidding in an auction. They auctioned off the home. Mm-hmm. So I think it was originally expected to go for about $1.4 million, and we got up to $1.9.
Oh, good deal.
Some of the comments I enjoyed checking out on this. This was posted, by the way. We've mentioned him before. Zillow Gone Wild.
Yeah.
So I like reading the comments. Molly says it actually has a parking space. No wonder it sold for $2 million in San Francisco. He bought it for the parking space alone. Leslie said the generic modern farmhouse flip begins in 3, 2, 1. She can be a little critical of what they're going to do to it. She's worried about it's going to be all generic, stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I like what Gina said. She says, "Look, I thought this was a cool statement because." She said this house survived the 1906 earthquake and the fire, and her concern is that some investor is going to come in, tear it down, and build some contemporary home or something like that. I would like to think if this is a neighborhood that is of this caliber, that there would be some...
It's in a historic district?
Yeah.
I was wondering the same thing because I was sitting there looking at that window, and I'm sure it's leaded glass.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, okay, they're not going to be able to match all of this. You just sort of... It's tricky, and I was wondering the same thing if this would be a historical district or not.
So yeah, we need to see what it. Well, keep an eye on it, see what it turns into.
Right.
I love seeing these stories. So worst house on the best block still goes. There are a lot of folks that were commenting too that they bought it for $1.97 million, but they're probably going to fix it up, turn it around, and sell it for $10. Mm-hmm. Man, you never know with real estate out there. All right, next, let's move back into... Okay, so we were talking about best house in the worst block, or worst house in the best block.
Right.
Now let's talk about location.
You don't want to be at the end of that road.
Our next story is a house in New Jersey who is probably in a really, I guess...
Has it been hit more than once?
Good or bad location, depending on how you look at it.
It's funny that this story is in the news today, because earlier when you were talking about the glass...
The doors?
The glass doors. There's a place in West Greenville over in the Arts District that I looked at repairing the venue because a car had gone through the building. It's right at the end of a building where there's or right at the end of the road where there's a stop sign that maybe gets ran every now and then, and maybe there's some bars around there. But yeah.
Interesting.
So it's funny
that's kind of what
shows
happened. Okay, so the story behind this house, this is a New Jersey house. It just may have too good of a location because it's been hit by a car 2 weekends in a row.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's located in Ocean Township. The first, January 15th, when a car lost control, went right through the home. And then the second was on January 23rd, a second car crashed into the home. The Wanamassa Fire Company. What? That's a problematic name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it. They haven't changed that name yet. All right. Anyway, Wanamassa Fire Company said this may look familiar, as yes, this is the same exact home that was struck about a week ago. So I actually have. The photo on the right is the first car that hit the house.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm not sure which photo. Actually, in the next slide, I've got the first text and then the second. Are these look like tweets? But the first post here on the left was the first car. Yeah, because the second car, if you look on the right, see where they had the plywood put up to cover up the first hole?
Yeah.
The second car took out the
So
other
they took out
garage.
both doors.
They ran into it's a 2-car garage, so yeah. So here's the kicker on this story is that the homeowners, Tim and Jen Husar, are the owners of the home. They haven't even moved into the house yet. They just bought it.
Oh,
I know, right?
lovely.
Yeah, the owners closed on the home the day before the first crash. And then now there's an online fundraiser that has started to collect more than $21,000 for the repairs on that.
Yeah, I wonder if this was in the disclosure.
Yeah, right?
He gets hit by cars a lot.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, gosh.
Full disclosure.
That's going to do it for our news update for this week. Running tight on time. So we're going to go straight to what we learned today on the show.
Let's broaden our minds.
Well, and one of the things we learned is that make sure you check the disclosure for any busy traffic.
Are you in the line of a road?
When was the last time your garage was remodeled? Yeah. We also learned that, we reviewed how, location, and you want to buy the worst house on the best streets. Best way when investing or actually anything in real estate. It's always a good idea. But sometimes even the worst house on the best street could be beyond my price range, though. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I learned. What else did we learn? The water heaters in the attic can be problematic. Hey, that rhymes.
Hey, that was
now
nice.
I sound like Greg Gutfeld.
Uh-huh.
Water heater in the attic. One of the things to look out for with the water heater is shark bite connections or any type of plumbing.
Yeah,
Are you comfortable with those?
With shark bites?
Yeah.
You want to use it? I'm comfortable with them in certain applications. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I get nervous even when I'm soldering
Right.
pipes together because I just never trust my own work. All right. That's why I'm an inspector and I don't do the work. We also learned that Shane embarrassed himself once when he was talking to a physicist about frozen pipes.
Yep. Can't
But
even
we're
tell
going to
you
share
about
the
it yet.
rest of that story next week.
Oh, we gave y'all another cliffhanger.
All right. Yeah, I forgot my ring.
Uh-oh.
All right. What else did we learn? A lot of changes in store for 2022. People changing their homes. Among those, mudrooms and home offices, the most popular, leading the pack on remodeling projects in 2022. 108% rise in internet searches for home offices. Mm. Yeah, we like those in our homes now. And extra living spaces.
You talking about that fancy word?
How do we translate into fancy talk?
I can't remember what.
Accessory dwelling units.
Okay,
so
accessory
we
dwelling
learned
unit.
a new term today on the Home Pros Radio Show. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that you found it as valuable as we did to hang out today. Thank you for joining us. Next week on the show, we've got this to share. We didn't share it this week because we never got the answer.
The photo from the field.
What are you looking at? I know what
We're
I'm
going to see if we
doing.
get Carl
Did you see that?
from KT Plumbing to tell us what is this device that's sticking off the side of this water main. It's just some sort of, I don't know if it's some sort of water hammer thing or what, but we're going to see if we can figure out the answer to that. So we'll get to that next week. Thanks for watching. Hey, don't forget to share our posts on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can find us there. What's the other thing I didn't mention? Facebook, at Home Pros Radio is where you can find us. And don't hesitate if you have a comment, a question, or anything else. You want to tell us what the mystery sound is, give us a call. Here's the number.
248-466-3776.
That's not the only way to get a hold of us, too. I almost said get rid of us. Not the only way to get a hold of us. You can also email us directly at ask@homeprosradio.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week on the Home Pros Radio Show.
Thank you for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. If you have a question for the Home Pros, visit us online at homeprosradio.com where you can also catch our podcast episodes and learn more about the topics and guests we bring to you each week. The Home Pros Radio Show is made possible by Prime Lending, RIC Home Inspections, Closing Contractor, Radon Recon, and Carolina Heating Service. If you are a trusted service provider in our area and would like to contribute to the show, send us a message through our Contact Us page at homeprosradio.com. Once again, thanks for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show.